Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us on Twin States News. I'm Nicole Menner. Back-to-back games against ranked opponents awaited the Mississippi State men entering Wednesday night. Saturday, the Dogs will be challenged by the number 5 Kentucky, but first up would be number 21 LSU. Back on their home court after playing their last 4 of 5 on the road, and some strong offense from both teams. The Dogs and Tigers shooting over 50% each from the field, forcing overtime at the hump. Ultimately, LSU would hold the advantage in points in the paint and in rebounding, topping Mississippi State by just 4 points.
Gut-wrenching loss against a very good team. Give them credit, the way they battled back. We had leads multiple times in the first and second half, and they kept fighting back. But I take full responsibility. I did not do a good enough job managing our minutes, doing enough minutes again for Tyson and for Robert in the second half, and it really hurt us as the game wore on.
Better luck in Oxford. No overtime needed for the Rebels as they finally got back in the win column, taking down Texas A&M Wednesday night at the Pavilion. 14 steals, 31 points off turnovers would lead the Rebels to a 75-71 victory. Ole Miss knocked down 17 of 18 free throws in the second half behind Terrence Davis and Breein Tyree, combining for 41 points. That would mark the Rebels' first win after a 4-game losing streak, and they'll look to turn it into a win streak Saturday at Georgia. Well, the Anthony Davis saga has taken an interesting turn of events. As the trade deadline came and went, the Pelicans franchise star will be staying put in NOLA, at least for now. Instead, the Bucks and Pelicans making one of the bigger moves in the NBA today, centered around Pelicans forward Nikola Mirotic. The Bucks have acquired Mirotic, giving the Pelicans Jason Smith, Stanley Johnson, and 4 second-round picks. The Pels will receive second-round picks from the Bucks in 2019 via Denver, 2 in 2020 via Washington and Milwaukee, and 1 in 2021 via Washington. Mirotic was making $12.5 million this season and will be an unrestricted free agent this summer. As for Johnson, the 22-year-old is averaging 7.5 points per game in his 4th NBA season, while Smith is averaging just 3 points per game. And late last night, the Pelicans getting another addition, the Washington Wizards trading Markieff Morris to NOLA in return for Wesley Johnson. Morris is averaging 11.5 points and 5 boards this season. The Pels would also earn a 2023 second-round pick from the Wizards in the deal. The Memphis Grizzlies were the other team at the center of the trade spotlight in the weeks leading up to the deadline, with talks surrounding their franchise veterans Marc Gasol and Mike Conley. And at the end of the day, one of them would stay and one would go. Marc Gasol will head to the Toronto Raptors, while the Grizz will keep their franchise point guard star in Mike Conley. This, of course, a power move for Toronto as the competition heats up in the East between the 76ers and Bucks, as we said. Those two teams also making moves. The Grizzlies also dealt away Garrett Temple and JaMychal Green to the Clippers and Shelvin Mack to the Hawks. Last but not least, 2017's number 1 overall pick heading to Orlando. The 76ers have traded Markelle Fultz to the Magic in return for Jonathan Simmons and a 1st and 2nd round pick. Now, Fultz has not played in a game since November 19th and has been sidelined dealing with a shoulder injury. In 2 seasons in the NBA, Fultz has played in just 33 games, but his agent says he expects him to return to the team this season. Now, going back to the Pelicans and Anthony Davis, what does this mean for Anthony Davis?
He's restricted after this year, right?
And
they can match his offer.
Well, it looks like Anthony Davis might have a few options for the summer. One of them being the Boston Celtics.
Oh, no.
It's looking like it might be, friends.
All right.